Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of what I'm now calling the Uncle Rico Show, named after the great Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, where I dive head first into Stuttering John audio and video, and really give him back a little taste of the business that this fucking guy has been giving me for years, knowing I couldn't do anything about it because of where I worked and how it would make me look. But listen, we're here. I'm here. I brought a guest to do this episode of the Uncle Rico Show, a comedian extraordinaire. I'm not just saying that because he does the Miserable Men Show with me. He's a
It's
roast.
part of the reason.
Well, yeah, he's a roast writer extraordinaire. Has written for such mega stars as Lisa Lampanelli, or as Bob Levy would call her, Lisa Lampignelli. And that's not insult to her looks. That's just how he speaks. He's just an idiot.
It's an insult to his intelligence.
It really is.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and soon to be yours, Mr. Mike Morse. Mike,
What? Why, hello, Shuli.
welcome to the Uncle Rico Show. You are our first guest ever. And this show is about Stuttering John. While I was working for the show, he would talk all this shit about me. He accused me of things that could have gotten me in trouble at work had anyone taken him seriously.
Mhm.
And I was never really allowed to, rebut, if you will.
Right.
And well, now I have nothing. So
Gloves are
guess who has nothing to lose?
Yeah.
The guy who has nothing. So.
And I've only had one interaction with him, just to give a little background.
I wanted to ask you, what is your, 6 degrees of Melinda?
Well, I was very lucky enough to have been around the Stern Show quite a bit, especially during Sirius. But I had only, back in the K-Rock days, I only was there once, and that was with Bob Levy.
Right.
He went up to do a segment there, and everybody was so nice. I was obviously nobody, and just there with Bob and everybody. Robin came out and said hi and was very nice to me, and Fred and who else was at the time? Everybody I met except Stuttering John just came out and just said, again, it was a million years ago, but it was just a douche. And
Right.
it said something unnecessarily, like, well, you're supposed to be here, just something like a power trip thing. And that was the only negative thing out of everybody. That was
The guy microwaved Howard's potato. Like he's walking around like he has keys on his belt. Like he's, like he's in charge of something. He's in charge of nothing. And that is typical John. He walked around like he was Howard, like he was big shit. And Howard didn't even walk around like that.
Right.
Like you said, Robin came out. Everybody was very afraid. When my first ever appearance was in the K-Rock years. And I mean, the E Crew at the time, I remember I took my bag. I brought my suitcase. I was doing a gig that night. And then the next day I was flying out. And everybody was so nice. And I meet the E Crew. And Scott let me share a cigarette, with him in the studio.
Everybody. Who was better? Yeah, I mean, Brian Phelan. I mean, what a guy. If I'd asked him to borrow $20 the first time I met him, he'd probably,
Funny you should mention Phelan, because when I got to my hotel later that night before the gig, I opened my suitcase to get a change of clothes, and there were all kinds of sex toys in there from the Blom box that, like I'm talking pocket pussies, huge dildos, and fucking Phelan stuffed them in my suitcase while I was on the air. And I'm like, funny. I go, Brian, like, imagine if I had to go right to the airport. He goes, that's what I was hoping for. Like, what do you think I am, Yucko? I'm not traveling around with 14-inch dildos. So yeah, that again, same thing with me meeting him, via the phone, and then he tried his power trip with me, and I was just like, because I don't know if I've told this story on Uncle Rico. If I have, I apologize, but I'll blow through it. He was doing a comedy show in Vegas. He was opening for Artie. Artie was doing the comedy show. But this was back in the day. I don't know if you're aware of this. He would put on a video at the start of his set, and it was just a best of reel of like all his best interview questions on the red carpet from the show, which the show knew nothing about this video.
I have a feeling they would not approve.
No, Howard would not want that at all.
Right.
But he does that. It plays for like 12, 15 minutes. It's a long video. And then he comes out and does like 7, 8 minutes, of fucking open mic, maybe worse level material. And they go home, and he calls me and he tells me that he forgot the VHS tape in the hotel room. And so I drive to the hotel, living in Vegas, and I fucking finagle the front desk to go up to the room and check, and they come back with the video, and I mail it out that day.
Wow.
And
that's
so
above and beyond.
Right. So then fast forward to like, I don't know, 7 months later, he's on the air and they're goofing on him because he forgot his check. He forgot his pay from a gig somewhere. He he threw it out, or he left it. He did a Scott, left it on the roof of the car or something.
Right.
But so everybody's kind of goofing on him. Artie's bringing up the whippets, and I go, you know what? I should call and, bring up the story of the videotape, that he forgot the videotape. And they're on their buzzer, and they go to break. I'm on hold, and he picks up the phone while I'm on hold. And he goes, really, Shuli? This is how you treat me? He goes, this is what you call in with after everything I've done for you? And I go, what have you done for me? I said, you put me on hold, dude. And not only that, I'm like, I asked for 3-5 minutes of stage time when you were here, and you told me no. So it's like you literally went out of your way to do nothing for me.
Right.
And I went out of my way to help you. Right. And it's like, and he goes, okay, I see how it is. I go, all right, dude, I see how it is too. You know what? I go, I'll just talk to Will or Gary. I don't need to talk to you. Right. And that's when he was like, no, hold on. Because now I went over his dumb head.
Right. Which isn't hard.
To people who actually have power. Will, who was there 3 years before, after John was there, is now his boss.
Right.
And it's like, so yeah, that was my interaction with him.